you hear that? Can you hear that? I think it's the sound of Christmas bells, like Allison Dreamy, right? Remember that ESPN commercial that shot the ball through the hoop? Basketball season, it's Christmas season, makes me think about that. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry to get real random on the 302 Sports Weekly, live right here at the Buffalo Wild Wings in the Christiana location. I'm Pat Gariani's alongside me, Nick Allison Dreamy. How you doing, Nick?
Doing great, Pat. It's great to be back here at Christiana location.
Absolutely, and once again, a reminder to everybody, if you come down to the show, we got a lot of great things for you. The folks that are here tonight are going home with the 302 Sports phone pop. Also some chances to win some scratch-offs here for Buffalo Wild Wing items, and also one lucky fan can go home with a Buffalo Wild Wings gift card if you say that you're here to watch the show. So make sure you come on down here every Wednesday night, 8 o'clock, and check us out. Absolutely,
Pat. And as always, we are joined by our two high school sports gurus, Mike Lang and Jason Winchell. I don't want to limit them to just high school. They're gurus about every level of athletics. And we got some great guests tonight as well, Pat. William Penn basketball in the house. Coach Steve Christensen, Izzy Mongaray, Jaden Reed, and Jordan Roberts are all in the building. You'll see them in a little while.
Absolutely. It's going to be a good show.
It should be a great show. And, Pat, we're going to get started with William Penn Sally's basketball game from last week, our opener here on 302 Sports. So we got a recap coming up. And Jason and I did the game. It was a great game and a great way to open up our 302 season, Jack.
It was an excellent game, and I was glad to be there.
Yeah. And I don't want to give anything away. We're going to roll the tape real shortly. But might have went into some extra minutes there. Got some free basketball in on.
It's always good when you have
Thursday night. Absolutely.
What do you say about free hoops, Mike?
They're all free for me, so.
Don't give out your secrets.
That's the answer right there.
No, but I mean, good early season so far. Anything stand out to you guys so far early on in the basketball season and the winter season so far?
For the boys, it seemed to be a lot of. Well, Jason mentioned the fouls when we were talking earlier, but it seems that some teams are really lighting it up. It's Louisiana at 77 points last night. St. Mark's is scoring points, so you know something's going on. And so some scoring going on.
And we're going to get right into it. We'll roll the tape right now. William Penn, Louisiana, live from Sally's last week. A top 10 matchup. I'll get it started here. There's your tip, Sally's and William Penn. By the way, Sally's coming in ranked in the top 4. Darnell Vaughn getting it started, getting the defender up, and goes and finishes off the glass. Nice move there. And as we close out the first quarter, Vaughn misses the mid-range jump shot here. And that'll do it. So after one, a big lead for Salesianum, 20-14. And now we fast forward to the second quarter. Off the handoff to Rasheen Kalk. He's only a sophomore, Pat. He gets it to go, and the foul counted and one. William Penn would go on a run here in the second to close the deficit, but we wind down the first half. It's going to be Jack Brown as times expires, goes up and draws the foul with zeros on the clock. It was about 0.7 on the clock from the game, Jay, with Jack Brown getting to the free throw line. Yeah. So he's able to add some points there. 1 of 2. Sally's leads 30-23 at the half. And it was a great start. Like we said, a lot of fouls called early on in this one and throughout the game, so we'll get to second half action.
Fascinating to see Salesianum pressing.
Yeah, that's right, Pat. We talked about it. They had a full court pressure on for most of that game. Then halfway into the third, we're going to see Brandon Ash dribble, drive baseline for the easy lay-in. Here we're going to see him again on the offensive glass. He tips it over to Mangare, who buries the corner three. There it is. You hear him. He's back there. Cutting into that. We're all tied up at 32, Pat. Then they're going to turn the defense into offense here. They get the steal, leap it up ahead to Brandon Ash once again. In transition, another easy two.
Jelly fan.
And William Penn's got the lead. Then a chance to add to the lead before the end of the quarter for William Penn is going to be a deep three. Mongari can't get it to go. So after 3 quarters of play, 37-37. Now 43-42. Now into the fourth, it's DeJesus in the corner, knocking down a triple. He had a couple threes on the night, Pat. This one puts Penn up by 4. And then how about another one? Cash out. William Penn, 7-point lead with 2 minutes to go. Then a 7-1 Sally's run. They get a huge steal off the full court pressure. Jack Brown not going to get this one to go, but another sophomore. It's Ethan Hines with the putback. He gets it to go, crashing the offensive glass. We're all knotted up at 50. And that's where we would be to end regulation. We're heading into overtime in our first game of the season. Can't ask for much more than that. We're going to overtime. Me and Jay, we were thrilled. And then late in overtime, Sally's up 1, and it's going to be Rasheen Kalk doing it again on the defensive side of the floor. Comes up with the steal. He gets intentionally fouled. Jack Brown would knock down some free throws. William Penn down 3 with a chance to tie with 4 seconds remaining. So Jack Brown again at the line. He'll bury this one, make it a 3-point game, 57-54. One last chance for William Penn. They leave this heave down to Ash, who gets up the shot, the 2-pointer, can't get it to go. Either way, wouldn't have mattered. Sally's gets the victory, 57-44 in overtime.
What a game there. Overtime thriller to start the year off is always good. Jay and Mike, I want to open this up to you guys. You guys have followed this game for a while, especially Salesianum. You're both obviously graduates from there. You've seen them be playing for a while. Have you ever seen a full court press from Salesianum?
No, I didn't think it existed until this year. It was crazy. I mean, unless they were down by points and they needed to come back in the fourth quarter, but to start a game pressing, yeah. I mean that's something you don't see from a Salesianum team. They want to speed you up this year and try and score some points. That's what they got some players that can score. Jack Brown, Vaughn, a couple freshmen, sophomores. Yeah. They got a great team, a great balanced team this year.
Yeah, Pat, when I was at Sally's, the road jersey said half court on them. That's
fantastic. Unbelievable. No, but yeah, and then, of course, the team we're going to talk to here a little bit later, William Penn, putting in a good effort in that one. And, what kind of stood out to you, Jay, in that game?
To me, they were down 20-6 early. A young team, on the road, tough environment, and they came back. They showed their grit. They got back into the game. They played really well defensively, which is always a staple of that William Penn team under Coach Christensen, and they really did a good job on the defense end to get back into the game and convert it offensively. So it was nice to see a team that was down 14 points early did not
lose themselves.
Right.
Come back and get it. Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, our first here of the night. We're going to come back. We're going to talk to Coach Christensen and the William Penn basketball team right after this.
Unique Image opened for business in Wilmington, Delaware in 1979 with one focus: wowing our customers with great products and even greater customer service. 30 years later, we are still doing exactly that. Whether you're looking for marketing tools to promote your business, gifts for your employees or clients, or planning a special event, we're here with the voice of experience to help you every step of the way for your complete satisfaction. Visit our new showroom in the Mill Creek Shopping Center, 4577 Kirkwood Highway. Unique Image, you envision, we create. Unique Image opened for business in Wilmington, Delaware in 1979. Since 2002, Brian has helped over 1,000 homebuyers achieve their dreams of owning a home. Brian's knowledge of current market conditions and his detailed evaluation of buyers' finances ensures that each buyer will receive the best mortgage to fit their needs. Brian is often commended on how efficient and effortless he makes the mortgage process for everyone from first-time homebuyers to investors to experienced buyers. For the loan that fits you, contact Brian today. Mr. Italian began his career in home finance in 2002 as a mortgage consultant. Since 2002, Brian has helped over 1,000 homebuyers achieve their dreams of owning a home. Brian's knowledge of current market conditions and his detailed evaluation of buyers' finances ensures that each buyer will receive the best mortgage to fit their needs. Brian is often commended on how efficient and effortless he makes the mortgage process for everyone from first-time homebuyers to investors to experienced buyers. For the loan that fits you, contact Brian today. The Hadley Group is your local real estate resource. Brian Hadley joined Patterson Schwartz & Associates in 2005. In 2013, Nicole Flora joined Brian, followed by Emma Burnett and Grant Jepp in 2014. That's when the Hadley Group was formed. Patterson Schwartz Associates offer you exceptional knowledge of local market conditions and a commitment to represent you honestly and professionally. So for your next purchase or sale, think the Hadley Group. Visit our website at thehadleygroupre.com.
Life's too short to hate your home. Remodel your home with the pros voted Delaware's #1 home improvement company. Ferris Home Improvements has something for every homeowner at their new showroom on the corner of Kirkwood Highway and Harmony Road in Newark, Delaware.
Explore products and layouts with the area's top designers. Touch and feel products that inspire your dream space. Ferris Home Improvement's pride in the details make them the area's best in roofing, windows and doors, siding, decks, kitchens, and bathrooms. Want a professional, no-pressure remodel? Go see the best at the Big Shamrock on Kirkwood Highway. Ferris Home Improvements. Quality workmanship from a neighbor you can trust.
And welcome back into 302 Sports. We're getting right into it. Right now we're joined by the William Penn basketball team, Coach Steve Christensen, Izzy Mungare, Jaden Reed, and Jordan Roberts. Guys, thanks for joining us on the show. Appreciate you guys coming out tonight.
Thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. And now we'll get right into it. You just saw you guys had a tough game against Sally's, an overtime loss the other day. Coach, this one for you. What did you learn from your team in that game?
Well, we were really proud of the kids. It's going down 20-6 early in a tough environment over there. You don't know how you're going to respond in the first game of the year. So, we went into the game saying that we wanted to play hard and play together, and I thought the kids did a really good job with that, and got us back in the game. And just a couple unfortunate things at the end, some situational things that I probably need to coach better. We need to execute a little bit better. So, but I thought it was a real positive for us early in the year.
Now, Coach, you took the program over a couple of years ago, and ever since then, you guys have been built on defense, and that's kind of been your identity so far. Can you talk a little bit about establishing that identity and really kind of, what are some key points that you're pushing to your team year in and year out?
Yeah. Well, we always talk about we're going to defend as a unit, so all 5 guys are going to defend together. It's just part of our team concept, and it's part of our culture, one of our, building blocks. And, it's just something we hang our hat on. You never know when the ball's not going to go in the basket for you, but you can always hang your hat on the defensive end with, energy and effort, and it's something we try to drill into our guys every day.
And Coach, you guys can answer this as well. You guys have a tough opening schedule, a lot of tough ranked teams early on in the year. How does that prepare you guys for later in the year?
It helps to just get ready for game-like situations where it might get tough and we might have to fight through adversity as a team and come together as a unit. So it just gets us prepared.
Now, you guys got a pretty good home crowd. What is it about your home crowd that makes them stand out amongst the rest of the state?
It's the energy. Like Coach said, we hang our hat on defense, but when the home crowd is behind us, the energy, it rises. We use energy all the time, but when we home, it's like energy on top of energy. So it's great.
And then you guys, 2 tough games coming up. You got Hodson tomorrow night and then Mount Pleasant on Saturday. Coach, you want to talk a little bit about Hodson and that game tomorrow night and how they present kind of a challenge for you guys?
Yeah, another difficult road game for us. They're a younger team, maybe a little inexperienced, kind of like we are. But I told these guys, we were just going through the scouting report before practice. They play extremely hard. They're very physical. They get up and down the court. We're going to have to defend them, and then they got some guys that can put the ball in the basket, that can, dribble, drive, and kick and make shots, so we're going to have our hands full all night tomorrow. And then obviously Mount Pleasant is, a bit of a rivalry game for us over the last couple of years, so they're going to be well prepared, well coached, and, similar test to what Hodson's going to be. So, just doesn't get easier. Every game's difficult, so.
And I was going to say kind of a follow-up question to that for you guys as well is how do you stay focused on Hodson when you have such a big rivalry game like Mount Pleasant on Saturday? How do you guys stay grounded for this game tomorrow night?
I say we prepare for the first game that is ahead of us, so Hodson, we prepare for them. And after that, we prepare for Mount.
Absolutely. Now, fellas, you guys are built on defense, and for whatever reason, a lot of other places, it's kind of like something no one wants to talk about. It's not cool to play defense. Talk a little bit about how, you guys have taken on that identity as a defensive mindset first, and how is it an advantage for you guys throughout games? How do you see it as a player play out?
All right, so I've been with the program for 3 years, and like he said, shooting the ball, there's a percentage. It can go in, it can go, not go in. But defense is something that you can give every play, and so that's something that we hang our hat on, night in and night out. We can always depend on defense, so it can be not a high-scoring game, but the hardest working team and the team that plays the best defense will win a game. So that's how we look at it.
And absolutely, and guys, I know it's early in the year, Coach, it's early in the year, but what kind of potential do you guys see? Like, I know you had a tough game against Sally's, but a lot of potential there. How good do you guys think you can be this year?
Of course, we still trying to make it to the playoffs. Like, we want to be and go beyond. We want to be the last team standing. So we just grinding, trying to work hard and prepare for those type of situations again, of course, just like everybody else.
Absolutely, and Coach, just looking at it as far as this season finishing out strong, and I know we're still very early on, but what are some of the things you've talked to your team about as far as goals for this season?
Yeah, I mean, quite simply, our goal is just really to get better every day. I know that's such a cliche, but it's just the way it is. Our schedule is so difficult. If we don't maximize each day and our 2 hours in the gym, then any other goal that we might have is not going to happen. So we have big picture goals, but for right now, for where we're at with this group, it's just we need to get in the gym and work hard for 2 hours every day and prepare for our next opponent, which is Hodgson tomorrow night. So that's where we're at.
There we have it. So there's the William Penn basketball team. Coach Christian, fellas, thank you for joining us here. Best of luck rest of the way.
Appreciate you having us. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
As a military wife, I love helping our airmen and their families with financial tools to help provide financial stability.
I promise to make a positive difference in your financial life, from helping you to lower your payments to discovering ways to help you save for your children's future.
From the needs of college students and first-time auto buyers, I promise to identify and take ownership of your needs.
Local people, local decisions, Dover Federal Credit Union.
As a military wife, I love helping our airmen and their families with financial tools to help provide financial stability.
I promise to make a positive difference in your financial life, from helping you to lower your payments to discovering ways to help you save for your children's future.
From the needs of college students and first-time auto buyers, I promise to identify and take ownership of your needs.
Local people, local decisions, Dover Federal Credit Union.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Solo Concepts. Solo Concepts is an award-winning restaurant group on the culinary coast with 10 locations. We're a chef-driven group. Come check us out. See you soon. Solo Concepts believes in the vision of our founder, Matt Haley, cook beautiful, simple food, develop the people we work with, and make the world a better place. Solo Concepts on the culinary coast with 10 locations from Lewis, Delaware to Fenwick Island. Come check us out.
Where you are in life, at every stage, we are here for you, for all of life's big moments, and everything in between. After all, that's what families are for. We promise to make a positive difference in your financial life and go beyond the norm. Be a part of the Dover Federal family.
Local people, local decisions, Dover Federal Credit Union.
Yeah, that was a great, exciting bunch. You saw everyone off camera. Everyone came in for the pictures. One of the biggest pictures we've had for a guest, so it was great to have those guys on. Absolutely.
So right now we're going to hop into your wrestling rankings as you're going to see them pop up onto the screen. And it's for a good opening week. Benny Mitchell, of course, is going to be covering that great sport for the rest of the year. Nick Alessandrini, I'm pretty sure you got a little involved in that as well.
I dabbled a little bit in the wrestling programs at St. Mark's High School. We had a pretty good squad my freshman year, top 10 in the nation actually then. And then you see some of these rankings right here, Pat. Division II, Milford still at top. Caravel, Indian River, Laurel, Woodbridge. And then Division I, Caesar, Rodney, Smyrna, Salesianum, Sussex, and Dover. So not a lot of change-ups from last week. It's real early. So not much going on in wrestling right now.
And for any individual rankings that you may be looking for, Benny Mitchell's got you. Head on Facebook and check them out for those individual rankings. Man, a lot of great talent scrolling around the state of Delaware out there on the mat there. So wrestling, like we said, check it out online. Keep an eye out with Benny Mitchell. He will keep you posted on that. We're going to do a quick transition now, and let's talk a little bit about girls hoops. All right, I'm going to break that down right here. A lot of great games last week. One of them that we saw was Howard Delcastle, a 58-55 game, and Delcastle hanging with Howard J, something that we're not used to seeing.
No, Delcastle's a great young program. In fact, after that game against Howard, they got another win against DMA. They're 3-1 at the time, and they find themselves 10th in the rankings this week. So Coach May is back at Delcastle, and she's got some talent on that team. They're going to be a fun team to watch this year, and I can't wait to see them play more games because they're a fun team to watch.
And another team in action last week, Mike, Caravel Buccaneers, an appearance in the state championship game last year. They went up against a very tough New Jersey school, out-of-state team in Pennington School, a 70-68 loss, a really tough game there for them. But like I said, a top team from out of state, they're playing strong. They got to start winning some of those close games. What did you see out of Caravel in that one?
Well, I would say is that they didn't really lose anything from last year. Kendra Warren is back. They have Sasha Marbles is finally a senior. Seems like she's been playing since she was 6. Yeah. Carly Cawley, they have a transfer. Jada McCullough from Caesar Rodney. Kristen Caldwell just keeps bringing talent into that program, and she challenges them. They go out and they play teams like Pennington. I wouldn't be surprised if they're back in the final again this year. I wouldn't be surprised if we have a repeat of last year's with Conrad, who also didn't lose anybody. I have great respect for Kristen Caldwell. I feel so bad that they've lost so many finals that they've had in the last 6 years. They've lost 4 finals. But she's an outstanding coach. She's an outstanding athlete, and she's just passing on her knowledge. I love the Caravel program.
Now, guys, before we look ahead and see what's coming up as far as it goes, girls basketball in this state for the past few years now has kind of been top-heavy. It's been, 4 teams, usually 5 teams every now and then. Do you see it transitioning at all? Is there some more depth as far as talent is concerned? Is there some fresh blood being influenced? I know we talked a little bit about Delcastle. They may be on the rise. How do you see things going out?
There's definitely some fresh blood. I mean, it's going to be top-heavy. It just always is, talent-wise. But this year, you got some fun teams that you can watch. Padua, for example, they're a fun young team with the new coach. And there's Ursuline is going to be a little down this year, but they're there. They're always tough to beat come tournament time. Delcastle was amazing to watch. I enjoyed watching them play. Archmere, another good team. They pride themselves on defense. Pat, defense always wins and keeps you in games. So it might be top heavy, but I think some of these other teams could have competitive games throughout the year that makes us want to go and watch them play.
The team that I've seen already a couple of times that I really like, and it's going to sound funny, is Tatton. They started the other day against Padua. They started 3 8th graders, a freshman and 1 senior, and so they're taking some lumps with the 8th graders. But there's a lot of talent. Now, they have 4 8th graders on the roster. Will they all stay at Tatton? Are they going to go somewhere else for high school? We'll see. But I really like what I've seen out of Tatton. They have some really great young talent, and I like Delcastle too. They have a freshman on that team, Imani Lucas Davis. Remember that name? She's about 6'2". and she can shoot. She's got a nice presence around the basket, and she's just going to get better playing over there. So I like the young talent I've seen so far, and I've seen a lot of games already.
And Jay, you mentioned Ursuline and Padua. They should be playing right now. I believe that game's underway. Mike will get an update in a few minutes. But if we look at those two teams, like you said, Padua's a young team with a lot of talent. They're upcoming. Ursuline lost a lot of their offensive end. Like you said, maybe a down year for them. But they've had Padua's number these last couple of years. Talk to us a little bit about Ursuline and Padua in today's game.
Yeah, talk about having the number. Padua hasn't won since 2006.
Wow.
So it's been a long time since
I was in high school.
Yeah, me too.
Hard to believe.
That was, and believe it, that was during the Deladon years.
Yeah.
So Padua won on senior night at Ursuline, but they've struggled against them. But they're a fun young team. Shield and Art's got them in the right direction. But these are the games they need to start taking steps. They need to start beating these teams like Ursuline, St. Elizabeth's, Archmere, all those teams that are right there with them. So it's going to be interesting to see when we see the score. But and Ursuline, they're not ready to go yet. They lost Maggie Conley and Olivia Mason. But they still bring back some players if they can stay healthy. I know they had a lot of injuries in the preseason, but if they can stay healthy, I think they're going to find themselves up there come year end.
Did you get a score update, Mike? Their score update?
I do, and I think everybody's writing Ursuline's obituary just a little too early. Halftime, they lead Padua 37-18. So they're playing the defense, the John Noonan defense, and they're scoring points too. Wow. So we'll see how they do when they play some tougher teams. But so far, so good for the Raiders.
I'd say. So there's your outlook here early on in girls hoops. Again, that top 10 is up there on the screen. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens and exactly how things turn out. It's going to be a great basketball season, that is for sure. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to come back. We'll talk boys hoops after this.
Career in home finance in 2002 as a mortgage consultant. Since 2002, Brian has helped over 1,000 home buyers achieve their dreams of owning a home. Brian's knowledge of current market conditions and his detailed evaluation of buyers' finances ensures that each buyer will receive the best mortgage to fit their needs. Brian is often commended on how efficient and effortless he makes the mortgage process for everyone from first-time home buyers to investors to experienced buyers. For the loan that fits you, contact Brian today. Mr. Italian began his career in home finance in 2002 as your local real estate resource. Brian Hadley joined Patterson Schwartz & Associates in 2005. In 2013, Nicole Flora joined Brian, followed by Emma Burnett and Grant Jepp in 2014. That's when the Hadley Group was formed. Patterson Schwartz Associates offer you exceptional knowledge of local market conditions and a commitment to represent you honestly and professionally. So for your next purchase or sale, think the Hadley Group. Visit our website at thehadleygroupre.com.
And welcome back into 302 Sports Weekly. Pat, we're going to dive right into some boys basketball now. We'll start with some breakdowns, some great games last week, including number 1 Sanford and number 4 St. George's Tech. That game last Thursday, that was the game they bumped up early, and it was a doozy. That game ended up going into overtime. Sanford would pull out the win 63-56. And Sanford, they never led in regulation. So with that being said, I'll look over to you, Jay. What do you have to say about that game? I know we were at the Sally's William Penn game when we were getting updates from that Sanford-St. George's game. What's kind of your impression or reaction from that?
To me, the fact that Sanford never led in regulation surprises me, but it also shows you how good talented that St. George's team is. Yeah. They got that game at home. They had the lead. They were up 7, I believe, with 2 minutes to go when Sanford made the run in a Jair Davis dunk with 5 seconds left, tied it up and sent it into overtime. But what a great start to the season that you had on the same night. Again, 2 top 10 battles. Both of them go to overtime. I mean, that tells you what kind of season we're in store for the boys' side. It's going to be a great season.
And it is. And, you know, Mike, a lot of great talent in that game. You talk about Njoku, you talk about Jair Davis, but maybe the most exciting player in the state of Delaware is Nashawn Highland Bones. Yeah. Is he really kind of? Should we expect this on a night basis? 30 points a game, maybe type of guy this year?
I don't know if it's going to be 30-point every night. He's coming off a serious injury, but he seems to be healthy, which is good. You know, you hate to see a kid get hurt like that. But he broke his leg, in February of last year or April, whenever it was. But he seems to be healthy. You know, he's called Bones for a reason. Over the course of the season, you know, does he have this physical stamina to keep up? You know, if he gets beat up and pounded every night, does he drop off? I hope not. I like the guy, and I'd like to see him do well and get a good college offer somewhere. But yeah, he can shoot, that's for sure. He's got some help down there at St. George's too, with McCants and Rittarelli and some of the other guys down there. So it's not a one-man show, but it's, you know, he's the straw that stirs that drink down there. That's for sure.
Another couple guys in that game are Njoku and Davis. Do you think that, Jay, they are the top tandem in the state of Delaware? Is there anybody that can defend those two guys when they get going inside?
I don't think so. I mean, right now, those two are 1-2, and they went up Sunday, Pat, and played Monsignor Bonner, a team that's ranked nationally and has Tariq Ingram.
They are good.
They lost in overtime, 89-85. Davis had 37, and Nako had 20-some. Wow. So, and Perkins had 29. So this team can score. Yeah. This team can play defense. And when they go and they like those showcase games, Mike said it last week, their problem is, will they show up? Well, they show up when the game's a spotlight game, and they showed up. And they're a fun team to watch. And I think those two are the best tandem in the state.
Absolutely, and that wasn't, we had 2 games go to overtime like we had talked about, but there was also a third game on Friday night of 2 top 10 teams. That one, though, a little bit different than overtime. Dover coming in as the second-ranked team in the state. They went up against the number 4-ranked team at the time, Cesar Rodney, in what was expected to be a pretty good game. But the Senators, they came out, they dominated early, and they dominated Cesar Rodney on the road. They have their early lead if you look at the Henlopen North, but they won 71-51. Mike, how about this Dover team?
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to see them. Obviously, it's early on. I know they beat Cape Henlopen. I knew they beat CR, and I think they beat Tech, if I'm not mistaken. They're 3-0 in conference, 3-0 overall. I know McGee is playing for them, and they have some other talent. And Peace is not playing this year, from what I understand. So, obviously, they got some talent down there in Dover. I will get to see them play at some point. I'll make it a point to go see Dover play. They, you know, I haven't seen them this year, but I know they like to run and gun, and you know, they're fun to watch. CR's no joke, but that's a good team, and they took care of them. I believe that was at Cesar Rodney. You know, and they knocked him out in that blue gym. So, yeah, I want to get to see Dover play. I really don't know as much about them as I'd like, but I know they're good.
The game that we saw last night, Nick, Alessandrini, Jason, which you guys got a chance to call it, was St. Elizabeth taking on St. George's, the defending state champions, falling in that one. Jay, what kind of struggles are you seeing St. Elizabeth have, and is it something that they can overcome?
Right now, with their point guard Jordan Brown, obviously not playing, it shows. Especially in a game where there was a lot of fouls calls, they don't have a deep bench right now, and so when your best players are in foul trouble, it's hard to compete against a team like St. George's when you're down a starting player that can light it up for 20, 25 every night. They'll be fine. He's going to be out for a while. I mean, that's just he's still in the boot. So I mean, they're going to have to learn to play without him. They're 2-2, not off to the best start. I think that loss that really will affect them is that AI one. Because right now AI is just struggling. Middletown beat them by 30-some last night. So I think if Coach would like to have one back, it'd be that AI game.
Yeah, and just speaking again on last night, it's hard without Jordan Brown if you're St. E's, but I think Nasir Brown did a great job stepping up for them last night. And Dickerson, we know he's got some talent too. He showed some flashes.
And only a
night.
sophomore, Nick.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Those guys are so young, and I think Nasir Brown ended up with 23 points last night.
Yeah, he did.
So
and
great
15
game
for 15 from the foul line.
Wow. Yeah, see, I didn't even know that. That's incredible.
That's Pat Garrianis like shooting.
That is. Coach Ruben Cam will tell you that. I was a great foul shooter in practice. Yeah. He will tell you that. There's no doubt about that.
Hey, I went to the CYO foul shooting contest competition one year. Yeah, representing Holy Rosary.
How about that, man?
Yeah.
I did the competition at St. John's. Didn't do as well. But anyway, we're going on. Let's move forward to some games to look forward to this week. We got a rematch of 2 years ago state championship game, Smyrna at Caravel, Friday night, 7:15. You can watch that here on 302 Sports. And Jay, these aren't the same teams that we saw a couple of years ago.
No, they're definitely not. Both teams are replacing a lot of talent, especially the Smyrna side. They lost their first 2 games to Cape and to Dover. But guess what? Last night, they come out and they put a hurting to the 6th-ranked Sussex Tech Ravens. So they're going to get better and better as the year goes on. They got a great coach down there, and Coach Mears. We'll have them up and playing. And this is a big test for them to come on the road, play in an environment like Caravel, and just, I think this is going to be the game where he wants to show people, hey, don't count out Smyrna just yet.
And I was going to say, Mike, we look over now to the Caravel side. They've lost some players of their own, a little bit of a new, fresh lineup coming up this year. What did you notice about Caravel? What are they going to have to do this year to be successful like they were last year?
Well, they got to replace some scoring.
Yeah.
Don't they? You look at Quay Parker, another guy that seemed like he played high school basketball forever. He scored at least half their points. I mean, he scored a lot. DJ Earl, I don't know if he's back or not.
And I believe Alderman.
I think he's on. Alderman's out. So they've got Sankpichan back and a couple other guys. So Coach Tobin's going to need to find some points on the floor. They like to score. I mean, they've always been a scoring team. So they need to find out who can shoot and who's going to put them on the board.
Another big game up there is Appoquinimink. They'll be taking on number 3 Salesianum, number 3 in our rankings this week. That's a Saturday, 7:30 tip-off there, and I believe that'll be on 302 Sports as well. Sally's talked about it a little bit. They play a different style this year with the pressure, Jay. Appoquinimink has been known as a team to get up and run. Is this going to be a game that we look for some fireworks in?
Yeah, and Appoquinimink is in that stretch. They had Caravel last week, lost a tough one. They have St. George's Tech tomorrow, and then Salesianum. I saw the Appo coach last night as he was in the building. He was going to go watch the first half of our game down there, St. George's, and then go to watch Sal's Newark Charter so he can scout both teams and try and get. But they're in the tough part of their schedule. As a coach, Stephen Christensen said they like scheduling these tough games early. See where you are and stuff like that. Salesianum is going to be a total. How do you scout for them? A different team than last year. I mean, it's a different Salesianum to prepare. Both these teams are going to like the run. I think Saturday night we could see point totals in the 70s from both teams, and wouldn't that be great to see? And Pat, it's silent night at Salesianum.
Oh, that's always fun.
So they are quiet until the home team scores the 7th point.
That's a fun
I
night.
won't be quiet on the mic though, so keep going there.
That's fun.
Yeah, now we look to a team that hopefully they'll put up 70 points this year. St. Mark's Spartans, my alma mater, they travel to St. George's Tech Saturday at 5 o'clock. St. George's, they like to score. Highland McCants, they put up, I believe, a combined almost 50 last night, Jay, when we did the game. But St. Mark's, their style can give some teams a fit. What do you, Mike, what do you see happening with St. George's, St. Mark's?
I think it's going to be a little more scoring. St. Mark's put up 61 in their first game of the year. They have some guys, I talked to Nick Santa, the coach, before the season. I actually saw him and Steve one night, and Nick was worried about where his scoring is going to come from. But he's got some guys who can score. Victor Marcello is scoring. Eric Ludman. Eric is a totally different player than he was last year. He's a lot slimmer. He can move a little faster. And he's got Williams, I think, who can score. He's got some guys who can put the ball in the hoop. So it's a new look for the Spartans. They've had some different players. Maybe they've opened up the floodgates and Nick's telling them to go ahead and shoot. So maybe St. Mark's scores it in the 50s. That's a little low for St. George's. St. Mark's, I think if they can keep St. George's in the 50s, they got a real shot to take this one.
All right, so there we have it. Here's your wrap-up in boys hoops. Things to keep an eye out for. We'll take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back after this.
Life's too short to hate your home. Remodel your home with the pros voted Delaware's #1 home improvement company. Ferris Home Improvements has something for every homeowner at their new showroom on the corner of Kirkwood Highway and Harmony Road in Newark, Delaware. Explore products and layouts with the area's top designers. Touch and feel products that inspire your dream space. Ferris Home Improvements' pride in the details make them the area's best in roofing, windows and doors, siding, decks, kitchens, and bathrooms. Want a professional, no-pressure remodel? Go see the best at the Big Shamrock on Kirkwood Highway. Ferris Home Improvements. Quality workmanship from a neighbor you can trust.
And you can see on your screen there a really nice job right there. That's the William Penn Mount Pleasant A-Walk Edit.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta love that, man. Absolutely. Shout out to A-Walk Edits putting that together. It's a big game this week coming up. William Penn, Mount Pleasant. It doesn't get much better than this. Nick Alzatrini, Pat Gurianis, Mike Lang, Jason Winchell, and Mike, we'll start with you, man. This is always a great game year in and year out, and this should be no different.
Yeah, I think it's been a little different look for Mount. They graduated some guys. Kayvon Kramer's hurt, unfortunately, again this year, so he's not playing. They have Flamir Ali is back. He's a senior this year, but it's going to be some new names for the Green Knights. So we'll see how they look. Obviously, we talked to the Colonials earlier, but it should be a lot of fun. Flight A, Flight B going at it. And, I'll be tuning in, I hope, on Saturday. Was that 1 o'clock?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, 1 o'clock.
Saturday 1. And so you never know what you're going to get with Mount Pleasant. Lisa Sullivan always seems to come up with a new cast of characters every year.
Yeah.
And they do well every year. She's a great coach, got a great staff. So it should be an interesting game.
And Jay, you heard Coach Christensen refer to this game as a rivalry game, so obviously they know it's a big game. They don't want to look past Hodson tomorrow. But what is William Penn going to have to do to get this win against Mount Pleasant on Saturday?
Yeah, I think William Penn has to do what what their bread and butter is, play some great defense. I think that's the key when you're playing a Mount Pleasant team. Last year William Penn won in the regular season. When they met in the Blue Hen A and B game, Mount Pleasant got some revenge. So these two teams know each other well. They're always close, competitive games. So William Penn's got to stay out of foul trouble, and I think lock all windows and doors on the defense end.
Every time we throw a Sixers reference, a great Mark Zumoff. That is fantastic. But no, fella, I mean, I think you guys you make good points there. A good Flight A, Flight B matchup. You got some keys to the game there. Let's talk about maybe some players, new cast of characters into this one. How did you recover? How do these programs? How have they recovered from the turnover that we've seen the past couple of years?
I think it starts with coaching. I mean, that's the key. I think this guy behind us is maybe the best coach in the state. I mean, he won at Brandywine. He's won at William Penn. Steve gets it done wherever he goes. I think Lisa Sullivan shows over and over every year that she belongs in her position in Mount Pleasant. The only female coach of a male basketball team in the state, and nobody thinks anything of it because Lisa does a job every year and she gets it done. And she's got a great staff. Seems like she has a dozen coaches on the staff.
Yeah.
But they get the job done, and you see players transferring into Mount Pleasant. They want to be there. They want to play for Lisa. And she usually lets them go. They shoot a lot. They score a lot. It's a fun style to play. They're always in the hunt at the end of the year. So why wouldn't you want to go play for somebody like Lisa, who really has attracted some great talent over the years, and it'll be the Mount Pleasant offense and the William Penn defense on Saturday. Should be a nice little, kind of like that St. George and St. Mars style,
Should be a good one.
Yeah, and
but all sorts of coaching is the key.
I agree.
And
well, there you have it. It's going to be a game that's going to be interesting to watch. We'll watch right here on 302 Sports, and we look forward to it. And it's going to be, like you said, another great Flight A, Flight B matchup. We're going to come back. We're going to wrap up the show right after this commercial break.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Solo Concepts. Solo Concepts is an award-winning restaurant group on the culinary coast with 10 locations or a chef-driven group, come check us out. See you soon. Solo Concepts believes in the vision of our founder, Matt Haley: cook beautiful, simple food, develop the people we work with, and make the world a better place. Solo Concepts on the Culinary Coast with 10 locations from Lois, Delaware to Fenwick Island. Come check us out.
No matter where you are in life, at every stage, we are here for you, for all of life's big moments, and everything in between. After all, that's what families are for. We promise to make a positive difference in your financial life and go beyond the norm. Be a part of the Dover Federal family.
Local people, local decisions, Dover Federal Credit Union.
And welcome back to 302 Sports. Nick Alessandrini, Pat Garianis. We're going to get right into the rundown, Pat. Get started with Wesley men's basketball in a game that saw 14 lead changes and 10 ties. Wesley team forced overtime against the unbeaten Salisbury Seagulls on the road on Sunday, but a last-second three-pointer by Salisbury down the Wolverines 91-89. Brian Cameron from DMA notched a season-high 29 points and 11 boards, along with 3 assists and 3 steals, 10 for 21 from the field and 7 of 8 from the foul line.
And I know we're going to get into this more next week, but I just saw this prior to the show. Congratulations to Goldie Beacon's Corey Tate. Became the school's all-time leading scorer.
Oh, wow,
tonight.
yeah, absolutely.
We'll get into that more next week, but congratulations to him. Let's keep moving right along. Wilmington University women's basketball, right? They've struggled. They dropped a CACC conference to Goldie Beacon last week, 76-54. In that game, though, St. Elizabeth alum Nacy Robinson had 8 points, 7 rebounds, 4 steals, and 2 assists. Getting the stat sheet rocking and rolling there.
And then you mentioned Corey Tate and the men's basketball team at Goldie Beacon. They defeated Wilmington 97-63 in a lopsided CACC matchup. Tyler Norwood and Danny Walsh from William Penn led the Wildcats with 15 points each. Both players hit 3 tray balls in that game, Pat.
Moving right along, Delaware State men's basketball, Mike. It's the basketball program. They hit less than a third of their shots in the field, 81-54. They took a loss to Jacksonville State. In that game, Kevin Larkin from Sussex Tech, only Delaware State player to get double figures, 10 points.
Now over to Maryland basketball. Maryland used a 19-0 run to secure a 94-71 victory over Loyola of Maryland, my aunt's alma mater. Anthony Cohen Jr. scored 23 points. Freshman Jalen Smith added a career-high 20, and Eric Ayala from Sanford added 13 points, 5 of 9 shooting, 1 of 2 beyond the arc.
I believe that one from beyond the arc was well beyond NBA range. That young man can play, that's for sure. Former Sanford standout. Let's move on to Seton Hall, right? Yeah. Big day for Miles Cale. The sophomore from Appoquinimink drilled the game-winning 3, as you're going to see right here on the screen. You can see him over in the corner. He gets the ball, nice little pump fake, pull up, cash. We saw him do that a lot down at Appoquinimink. Ends up being the game winner against the 9th-ranked Kentucky Wildcats. 84-83 ends up being the final, as you can see here. The last second heave is no good. Overtime winner.
Get out of my team.
And Miles Cale right at Madison Square Garden. 10,244 in attendance for that one. Finishes the game, 17 points. So congratulations to him on that, on the biggest stage. Another 302 after.
Absolutely. Get out of my gym, Coach Cal.
Yeah.
Now over to Reiner University. Hofstra defeated the Riders 89-73, but Jordan Allen from Dover scored 9 points, 3 of 7 shooting from long range in his 4th consecutive game with 3 or more 3 balls in the 22nd and 36 career games played. So he's got a deep ball, Pat.
Absolutely. Let's move right along to our Athletes of the Week. We're going to start off with the girls' winner, Zakira Lancaster Navarro. The senior from Del Castle put up quite a tremendous week. 18 points in that 58-55 loss against Howard. Then puts up 24 in a big win over DMA, 54-34 to final in that one.
Absolutely. Now over to the boys, our player of the week. It's Nashawn Bones Highland. We talked about him earlier. The St. George's Tech senior scored 40 points in the win over Red Line in their opener. Played both ends of the floor in that overtime loss to Sanford, and then me and Jay had the chance to see him last night put up 22 points, and then he was doing everything on the floor for that St. George's team. So congratulations to Bones. He's our player of the week. And Mike, we got something?
How about this?
Score update.
The 19-point deficit for Padua at halftime, gone. Last update, they lead Ursuline by 1 in the 4th quarter.
Oh my goodness.
By 1.
Yeah. 38. Wow.
On a bucket by a freshman, Lauren Kim, who I saw play the other day. She's pretty good.
How about that?
Anyway, that's all I got.
Pandas.
That's all I
Good
got.
job, Coach Sheila Denardo getting it done over there. Finding a way to get it done.
So
you will have to keep an eye on that one. Something you'll keep an eye on online to see how that final ends up going. So let's wrap this thing up here, right? Your top 5 plays of the week is what everyone's been waiting for. We're going to start it off right here with number 5. Julian Jesus, the deep 3 from Penn.
Penn gets it up.
Watch this
Goes
young
catch
man.
the
Catch
Jesus. He's not afraid.
fire.
He'll take another one, and he's
Back of the
got
net.
it. Wow.
That's where Mama keeps the Thin
He hit a couple of them. Now he gets some St. E's pad. It's Justin Money. Check him out on this putback. We saw how athletic he was last night. Nice move to get inside, go get that rebound and lay it back up and in. A big bucket there to get St. E's back in that ball game, though. Unfortunately, they did not get the victory.
And Vashawn Wharton, he comes in with a monster rejection at number 3. As you can see, Salesianum working the ball down. Get it out of here, young man. Give me that. Give me your nuggets.
Now back to St. George's. Tyrese Owen and Michael McCants. The big man had a huge game last night for St. George's. He had 21. There he is with the N1 drawing the foul down low. He was hard to stop in that paint last night, Pat, for St. E's.
Absolutely. And your number 1 play of the week, Ahmad Taylor, the block and flush from St. George's in this St. E's game. You see they block Dickerson. He gets out on the run. And how you doing? Two-handed slam with the breakaway dunk. St. George's gets the big win over the defending state champs.
Absolutely. He had a great game, by the way, Ahmad Taylor. Both sides of the ball played really well for them.
And before we wrap this thing up, we want to make sure we thank everybody, right? We want to thank all of our sponsors. Without them, this doesn't happen. And make sure you go out and you support those sponsors. Tell them 302 Sports sent you, and check them out. Also, make sure to check out the website for any updates going forward on any local athlete that's either in high school or maybe in college, professional level, so on and so forth. I want to thank William Penn for coming here, coaches and athletes and supporters for coming on. This is what we're here for. We're here to make make that kind of stuff happen. But before we wrap this up, let's get a final word from everybody. Jay, what's the one thing you want to say before we wrap this up?
Just tune into 302 Sports this weekend. 3 great games for you on tap. And look at next week's show because Diamond State, and we got some slam dunk alumni in the house, so it's going to be a great show. And also from William Penn, 3 of William Penn stars from one of the first slam dunks to the beach.
That's going to be really good to see, man. Have to keep that out. Mike, what's your final thought here?
Yeah, I'd like to encourage everybody to get out and watch some high school sports and support these young men and women. I've been to games just about every day this week. I think every day this week. Not just basketball, swimming, wrestling. It's you get out of work early, late at night, whenever you got it. These kids deserve our support.
Nick, final thought?
Just want to say thanks to everyone for tuning in. Make sure you catch some of the streams this weekend. It wouldn't be possible without you guys. So appreciate you guys taking the time to watch us.
Absolutely. Like we said, make sure you tune in next week. 8 o'clock start right here on 302 Sports, and right here at Buffalo Wild WIngs, right here in the Christiana location. It's got a really good action-packed weekend free and then an action-packed show next week. So make sure you keep an eye out, keep an ear out for everything coming at you 302 Sports this week. So for everybody involved here, this has been my name is Pat Garianis, and we'll see you next week here on 302 Sports Weekly.